the deal, then all I can say is, there's no, what you're talking about adding today or next week becomes moot because the voter imposed thing is far superior. It's far superior.
If it goes to vote, well, I gotta override it. In the meantime, I guess we simple. Yes.
So Tracy Langsford again. So you could either move it to next Monday, or you're saying move it to a vote next
No, we're talking
November?
about, no, we're talking about creating this now, but what is created and what evolves and is put together before it's finalized, okay, submitting it to the voters and have them bless it, put their hands over it. Yes, do it, go forward, and use that money to do it. So then, it's not a question of,
Well, if those people were against it, they should have been showing up. I mean, I've been to
They're not- they're not
I've been to
against it. The
4
two
of these
votes that-
meetings
the-
now, and not one
Yeah.
person has come to that podium and said, please don't
Okay,
do this.
let
Please.
me help, what we're trying to clarify is, can we legally put $200,000 a year for 15 years, city and county? Karen, could you maybe throw a little light on how that works?
Well, I think we need a legal opinion. My understanding is the board or the city council does not have the authority to commit future boards. I think, I've never heard of a ballot measure, I'm not saying, so we need to do some research, but I believe Jim's probably right, where it would be, if you want a 15-year commitment of tax dollars, existing tax dollars, it would require a vote of the people. That's the only way the board can be committing.
That's what, thank you, Karen. Yes,
I just want,
go ahead, Larry.
what we're talking about doing the whole thing in June, it's not delaying anything until
You wouldn't
June.
delay that.
No, it's just what we do in June cements this
Okay.
in for, so it can't be.
We will still continue
yeah,
on.
we have the ability to expend money between now and June 30th. And this board can, that's currently constituted, if it's still in office, come next June, has the ability to expend money to the June of the following year. And that, what we would do is this project would move along, but with that election coming up in June, that once we have a final product, we have a site, we have plans, we have costs, we have all those things worked out and defined, and knowing full well what that 15-year commitment would be, is that by submitting it to the voters to ratify the work that's done by the JPA now, and the blessing of the board and the city now, would be to commit and cement that, so we aren't doing it from June to June to June, we know we have a committed revenue stream for that 15-year period.
Jerry.
What if there was a simple amendment that added language that any financing that is entered into that both agencies are committed to staying with it during that financing period, so that way it'll be tied to some sort of, vote with the financing, and that's really the concern, that if there's a debt incurred, a finance that's made, then both agencies will be committed for that term. I think that we should address the legal issue of committing future boards, and then also would allow it to move forward in a simple fashion.
Okay, thank you, Jerry. Let's continue on till Monday. Good.
I think it was a good discussion, and I would hope that Mr. Hammond would have the benefit of listening to this discussion, because he really needs to, and he was very anxious to be here for this, so
Okay,
it's unfortunate he couldn't be a part of it.
okay, he's not here, so we will move on to item.
So I think we need a motion to call the special meeting
So move.
Second.
for 9 o'clock at a location to be determined to discuss adoption of the joint powers agreement.
With the city council.
In anticipation of a joint meeting with the city council.
Great. You got a second?
Yes, that was fine.
Good. Any more discussion? Mrs. Stout.
Mrs. Stout died several years ago, I'm sorry. Violet wants to know what the hell that JPA is.
Joint powers agreement.
What is it? Who is it?
It's an agreement between the city and the county. We have a transportation commission, the air board, solid waste, LAFCO. They are successful.
And all them people for money, right? They do, you have to pay for everything he just made.
Would you like a copy of the file?
I know, I get bills.
No, I meant of the agreement.
This is not gonna create a new tax, no.
But those people that join it though, they pay tax too, right?
Everybody pays taxes.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
We're voted yet?
On the question.
All those in favor?
All in favor, say aye.
See, it's your direction to me, come back on Monday with two proposed amendments. One to committee changes it to 15 years, and the second to require any financing to be subject to approval each member.
Well, I mean, if we could set, if you could do it with each member, you know, is obliged to their half of the debt. I mean, that's fine, I think we're
I
just,
mean, I can draft it.
we don't need to have the least amount of choices. We don't want to open debate of which of the 14 ideas are the best.
Understand, I mean, I can draft it, but it says you're obligated, but I don't think it's legal. And I'm not a lawyer, but I don't think that you can.
Work with Mr. Hancock and come back with a proposal, and that could be the subject of discussion next week. And I'm prepared to go with what we have right here, but if we can get an extra pillar or two in there, hey, I'm open to it, as long as we get to the starting line and start doing something.
But again, Jared and I are bringing back two possible amendments. One is the 15-year commitment, and the second is requiring any financing entered into the joint PA to be ratified by each member.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay,
Was that all four of us? You vote?
Now we gotta vote.
okay,
Yeah.
so you have to vote.
Yeah, I'm voting again. Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Ayes have it.
4-0.
Thank you, people, for your help. We got one more item, information from board supervisor.
Members, I will be at the CSAC meeting on Tuesday the 19th. I've asked Mr. Cullen to be the acting CEO, and he will present the agenda.
Okay, then with that, we will go back into closed session. Needed not, what we're going in for?
Two potential litigation matters, continuation.
Take a 5-minute recess.